The rise of AA games is nothing short of outstanding. These days, most of the amazing games are made by lesser known studios. That's why I have made a list of 10 AA indie games that you must play. I have also added some bonus games at the end. All these games will surely provide you with an awesome experience. Now, before we look at the first game on our list, click that subscribe button as I'm close to reaching 11,000 subscribers. Cuphead. This game is an incredible masterpiece. Despite its art style, its gameplay is very simple but extremely effective, using simple mechanics. Cuphead takes several basic ideas and perfects them. It keeps you guessing to see what happens next. Each boss and monster has unique features and special attacks. Cuphead provides a completely new feeling with its combined features. It invokes a sense of excitement with its high difficulty. The soundtrack of this game should go down in gaming history because it combines different music genres in certain situations. I became a huge fan after seeing the hard work and dedication that the developers have put into this. Now, one of the most crucial aspects is its difficulty level. I remember seeing several comments in one of my videos where I talked about the hardest games. You guys were commenting that I forgot about Cuphead. So, I want to make it clear that even though the game is quite challenging, it's still fair. You can't call a game bad just because of its difficulty level. The same thing happened with Elden Ring, where a lot of new players criticized the game for being too difficult. Games like these are mostly suitable for players who can adjust themselves to the difficulty level and stick with the game until full completion. Nevertheless, Cuphead is such a great experience and shows the power of a AA studio. They can also make amazing games with a low budget. I hope we get to see a sequel in the next few years. Kena, Bridge of Spirits. One of the most beautiful games in recent times. If every AA game could be like Kena, we wouldn't need any more AAA games. I was completely surprised to acquire such a game from a lesser known studio. Personally, I think the developers did an excellent job given that this was their debut game. The combination of animation and art is simply wonderful. I remember when I first saw the trailer for this game, I was completely captivated by its beauty. I also fell in love with it after finishing the entire game. The traversal, fighting, and landscape are genre-defining, but possess a calming Pixar vibe. Plus, enemies are pretty difficult even on the normal difficulty setting, and the fight keeps you on the edge of your seat because you can literally die multiple times in this game. The game's exploration is excellent as each new item or area discovered provides rewards to players, which can be used to unlock new skills and cosmetics. The storyline is nothing short of amazing, and the seamless transitions from cutscenes to gameplay are always visually stunning.
I can see that. You both look very strong. Do you know who that spirit was with the horned mask?
We don't know, but when he shows up, the girl's poison grows stronger.
You play as Kena, whose main job is to guide the spirits in a forgotten land. If you're looking for something visually appealing and with a decent storyline, Kena is the game for you. Despite the fact that it appears to be an indie game, Kena is extremely polished and well made. I believe we'll see a sequel within the next 2 years. Ghost Runner.
These sewers.
When you first look at the gameplay, Ghost Runner appears to be really appealing. The concept of playing the game in first person and cutting enemies is completely satisfying. I liked seeing the blood and cutting different parts of enemies. Ghost Runner features fast-paced hack and slash gameplay that keeps gamers glued to their seats. I recommend both parts because the second one outperforms the original in so many ways. The storyline isn't really interesting, as these games are mostly about fast-paced action combat. You merely need to enjoy the experience of running around and chopping your way through enemies.
Anybody?
This is Ghost Runner.
The Ghost Runner? Jack, you're awake!
Yes.
How?
Been rebuilding you for months. We tried.
I think at this point, more and more players are getting to know about this game, which is a great thing, all thanks to the sequel. If we're talking about an honest review, I'd guess that over half of you will abandon the game within the first hour. It is quite difficult to complete each level. Somehow, the enemy AI is created in such a way that it properly pinpoints your location and appears to kill you in seconds. However, after a few deaths, you get used to them. That's when the game starts to become highly interesting, assuming you also have the patience to make peace with dying in frustration.
Oh, the Keymaster Guard, bandits and thugs that Mara armed and sent against us. Bandits and thugs that Mara armed and sent against us.
Ghost Runner is a series created specifically for genre fans. If you understand the mechanics and the gameplay fits your style, you will surely enjoy the game. The sequel is also worth mentioning because it serves as a cherry on top after finishing the original. Providing extra slashing and free running, the game is accessible on several platforms, including PC.
It's like puddles of water left over after the lake has been drained.
A Way Out I usually have a lot of criticism for EA, and for good reasons. However, this game is an exception. It is truly phenomenal. The story is incredibly immersive. You feel a deep connection with your partner, not only during the intense efforts to escape from prison, but also in the cooperative tasks outside of it. The game is designed to forge a strong emotional bond between you and your partner, enhanced by touching moments like meetings with their families.
Wait. Let's time it with the thunder. Okay.
Life in prison is portrayed quite realistically. Playing as Leo, I felt like a total badass, not just during the fights with other prisoners, but also in my interactions with the guards. The ending is absolutely unbelievable, but I won't spoil it for you. The graphics and controls are solid, although they aren't the main reason for my high praise. The game has the perfect length for my taste, about 6 hours. It's neither too long to become tiring, nor too short to leave you wanting more. This is without a doubt one of the best games I have ever played. Although being a AA title, Hazelight Studios delivered an amazing experience which is worth experiencing, and I highly recommend it.
Isn't he supposed to be dead?
Our guy fucked up, got himself killed by the guards.
Good for nothing, piece of shit.
Sorry, boss.
Look, Sean, you need to find him, okay?
Yeah, but I'm not sure the men we have right now are
Not my problem. You just need to find him. You got it? I don't give a fuck how, just make it happen.
Yes, boss.
Pal World. One of the finest survival games of recent times, I was insanely fascinated by Pal World. The developers did an awesome job providing the players with a Pokemon experience. I know there's a whole debate regarding whether Pal World copied Pokemon, but I just don't care. I'm not one of those players who won't play the game just because it feels like Pokemon. Nintendo needs to focus on making a game similar to Pal World. It's been decades since we wanted an open world game where we can have the freedom to catch Pokemon and indulge in raid battles. What Pal World did is nothing short of outstanding. I'm not saying that you guys should play this game in multiplayer. My personal suggestion is to just dive into the solo campaign and experience the open world. You can explore the entire game and catch every single creature. I can tell you guys that all I did in this game was catch every creature and build my base. It just felt so satisfying as the game offers several areas such as deserts, volcanoes, mountains and forests. Some creatures are specifically located in certain areas, which forces you to explore every corner. It's so cool to see the feature of habitats, as fire-type Pokemon will only be found in volcanic areas. You can also customize your outfits and defeat other creatures with the help of different weapons and even with your own Pokemon. Lies of P. whatever anyone says, I always recommend starting your journey with Lies of P if you want to get into the Souls-like genre. This game is an outright masterpiece. Lies of P contains a fascinating narrative. The game's story is both entertaining and heartbreaking. The game earned my respect for the ending. I was mesmerized after seeing how well written each character is and how they all hold importance in the game rather than just being a normal NPC. Everyone needs to play Lies of P as it defines the Souls-like genre in a new distinct way.
The light shines brightest in the darkest of times.
Lies of P is more than just difficult bosses. It's an immersive adventure that will take you through numerous different areas, each with a unique set of opponents and several medium bosses. Now, I believe the bosses in this game are relatively easy when compared to other Souls-like games. So, for all the newbies, Lies of P will prove to be quite difficult and show you what it means to play Souls-like games. Every NPC has a unique backstory that explains their concerns and goals. The storyline in Lies of P is my favorite part of the game. To summarize, you play as a puppet, and each truth you tell in the game fills your heart with human emotions, gradually converting you into a human with emotions and sensations. You can choose to speak the lie in all situations, but the game forces you to make the right decisions, which most of the time indicate that you should go with the truth option. It's an absolutely incredible story. Lies of P is available on multiple platforms. Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is a hugely popular Metroidvania game with platform elements. At this point, practically everyone is aware of the magnificent locations and difficulty level of Hollow Knight. Personally, I believe this is one of the best Metroidvania games ever made. It has a variety of difficult enemies that will kill you multiple times. It has all the open world elements, including hidden items and secrets. You can explore freely and discover some interesting hidden features throughout your journey. However, there can be times when you stumble upon some high-level bosses in hidden areas. This way, the game keeps you interested throughout the entire playthrough. It always reminds you that there is always someone stronger than you, no matter what level you are at. The story of Hollow Knight is intriguing and continues to improve over time. Some players also claim that boss fights are overly difficult since they need accurate timing. As for me, if you want to get into this game, prepare yourself for a lot of grinding. Surprisingly, after a closer look at the gameplay, you might think that the game is quite short, but the main story of Hollow Knight will take you more than 25 hours to complete, excluding side content. The game has plenty of blood, dark environments, and mature themes. You may feel slightly bored, but if you enjoy exploring in difficulties, Hollow Knight is an excellent pick. Mortal Shell. It's not Dark Souls, trust me. At first glance, Mortal Shell definitely gives a feeling of Dark Souls, but it's a completely different game, and also quite a short experience. You will obviously notice some major differences, especially in combat, and you're not bound by a specific class. You can say that Mortal Shell is a new third-person, semi-open world RPG which took inspiration from the Souls-like genre. Now, some players complain about the total playtime as the game can be completed in less than 8 hours. However, I believe that we are getting a value for money game, because the quality is just mind-blowing, the design and environments will give you a feeling that you're in a Dark Souls world, but all other features will give you a sense of difference. I really hope that the developers will release a sequel and make this game a full-fledged series. Honestly, there's very little chance that we will see a new Dark Souls game. So, it's a good thing that studios are taking inspiration and making similar games. This way, players like me can experience more hardcore Souls-like games. Now, one thing I want to point out is that the Souls series made such an impact on the gaming industry that it sometimes takes originality and creativity from other games. Most of us consider games like Mortal Shell a replica of Dark Souls, which kind of ruins its originality. I hope more and more players believe that these games are also trying something new, and just merely taking inspiration from Dark Souls. Bright Memory Infinite. This is one of my favorite fast-paced FPS games. I recommend this game to anyone who just wants to take a quick break and go all out guns blazing. The main focus of Bright Memory is to progress further and kill whoever comes your way. The storyline is medium as it serves as a baseline for the gameplay. One of the key features is the main character. She just looks absolutely stunning. What makes Bright Memory Infinite stand out from other FPS games is the linear short playtime. The game is made by a Chinese developer who worked on the development in his spare time. So, despite being made by a single person, Bright Memory still proves to be a great short experience. From the moment you step into the game, you will never feel like quitting, as it will only take you close to 4 hours for full completion. So, you can basically complete the entire game in one sitting and have an awesome gaming experience. Now, in this video, we are mostly talking about AA indie games, so don't expect every game to have an over-the-top storyline with awesome graphics. Bright Memory is especially for those who just want something brand new or want to dive into underrated games. This is also a prime choice for those who want to step into the FPS genre for the very first time. I'm not sure if in the future we will see a sequel or not, but honestly, I'm just happy with what the developer showed in this game. These days, when most of the big studios are focusing on sequels and remakes, which seem to be underdeveloped, it's amazing to experience full-fledged games from small funding studios. Before I reveal my number one pick, here are some honorable mentions. Plague Tale.
Come on. Run, Hugo.
What's happening, Amicia?
Just run.
But why are they angry? Are they going to burn us too?
Remnant. Evil West. Kenshi. Hi-Fi Rush.
Let's rock, big boy.
Biomutant. Stray. This one is a highly unique game. Stray is a completely different AA game that offers the players a chance to play from a cat's perspective. Although I do admit that it'll become boring for some players as there is not much action or shooting. Low-key, you can also call it Cat Simulator. I believe Stray is a game especially for cat lovers, or just for those who have been gaming for a long time and want to experience something different. This is such a fresh take on the AA adventure genre. I hope we get to see more similar games amidst all these major titles. Now, in Stray, you navigate your way out to the surface while progressing through various areas such as sewers, rooftops, and canals. The graphics and atmosphere are both stunning, the storyline is engaging and progressing, and the attention to detail in this game truly separates it from any other game I've played. It's wholesome, but there are subtle horror elements as you progress through the story. The gameplay can be challenging at times when critical thinking is required, but the puzzles aren't too difficult. There was nothing I disliked about this game, and I sincerely hope that the developers release a sequel. While it is a short experience for a modern game, the game makes up for it with its content, a basic but interesting story that will captivate you with the characters and locations, all while you travel around as a cat. Words cannot express Stray's beauty. I will absolutely be playing it again. Alright, this finishes our list of 10 AA indie games that you absolutely can't skip. All these games have their own features that make them unique from one another. Whether you want an action FPS experience or a completely different one like Stray, this list contains something for every player's taste. I have carefully picked the best games with different genres so you won't get bored. Anyways, if you have made it this far, then please subscribe as I am close to reaching 11,000 subscribers. So, hit that subscribe button and join my Discord community for awesome gaming recommendations.